Hey guys, Matt Laidlaw here. So a little while back I did a walk around video on a 2017 Street Glide special with the Stage 4 114 cubic inch Screamin Eagle performance build with the ThunderHeader exhaust system on it. So I'm pretty excited about this. I've been anticipating for a long time ThunderHeader coming out with a system that will fit on the new Milwaukee 8 engine. So this is the first bike that I've seen with the ThunderHeader on it that has the Milwaukee 8. So I'd like to thank James for bringing his bike back. I did a little walk around video on this bike a few weeks ago, and James was nice enough to bring his bike back and allow me to do a test ride on it, so thank you very much. So I'm going to take this thing out and twist the throttle a little bit, and you guys can check it out. So this is the Harley-Davidson Screamin Eagle Performance Catalog, and this is the description of the Stage 4 Performance Kit. So I'll point out a couple of things here. The rider will feel an exceptional acceleration, delivering significant gains and up to a 40% increase at the higher RPM range. So where this kit really excels is at 4,000 RPM and above. And the cam in this kit is designed to continue to increase power all the way till red line. So if you're a guy that likes to really rev the engine out, this would be a great kit for you. So I've covered this kit in past videos, but I'll cover it again real quick. So this kit, you can either get it in a 107 to a 114, which is the case with this bike. It has a stock 107 cubic inch Milwaukee 8, and this bumps it up to a 114. Or if you get a bike like a Softail that comes with a 114 from the factory, this kit will bump it up to a 117. And so yeah, you get the cylinders, pistons, and one of the big differences between the 3 and the 4 is the 4 has the heads, the CNC ported heads, and you also have that bigger throttle body. You got a 64 millimeter throttle body, then you have the high flow injectors. Here's the cams, it's a different cam. You have the tappets, so you have the different lifters. And so yeah, this is Harley-Davidson's highest performing performance build. And you know, these pistons, they're forged pistons, and they have a higher compression ratio, 11:1 compression ratio. This is the cam they run in this kit, the Screamin Eagle 8 515 cam. So where we found that this kit really is the best, you know, from a practical functionality standpoint, is out on the highway. It has really good high-speed passing power. And so if you're a guy that really gets out on the freeway and does 65 miles an hour plus a lot, then this is a great kit to pick up. So here's a power graph here, and this power is measured at the rear wheel as opposed to at the crank, so it's not going to be as high as being measured at the crank. So you can see here the stock 107 cubic inch, as far as horsepower goes, you're about 80 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. And the horsepower in this blue line here is the kit that we have on this bike. The blue line represents the horsepower with the stage 4 kit on it. So you're over 120 horsepower, about 122, 123 horsepower. And that's achieved at 6,000 RPM. Let's move over to the right here where we have the torque. So stock torque at about 3,000 RPM, it's a little over 100 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheel. And then at 5,000 RPM, we've got about 115 foot-pounds of torque. So yeah, about 15 foot-pounds of torque, and you're gaining about 40 horsepower. So yeah, real significant gains with this kit. I always seem to get questions about how any particular bike was tuned, and this bike is tuned with the Harley-Davidson Pro Street Tuner. And here's a shot of that. This is the Screamin Eagle Performance catalog, by the way. And then this was piggybacked with the Screamin Eagle Smart Pro Tuner, which is an automatic tuning module, and it has the wideband oxygen sensors. So a combination of these two tuning instruments is what this bike was tuned with. So one of the things that's been kind of interesting when this Milwaukee 8 came out, as I've talked to people that have put aftermarket header pipes on their bike, and after I've ridden a few, we're finding out that most header pipes actually you lose power on this Milwaukee 8. I have a friend and customer, Brian, who put the Vance & Hines power duals on his stage 4 Milwaukee 8, and he hated it because he lost a lot of bottom end torque on the bike. So he actually took off the Vance & Hines and put the stock header pipe back on. Now you're not going to find any problems with just mufflers, but you really got to be careful about what header pipe you put on a Milwaukee 8. So that was one of the things I was kind of curious about when I rode this bike, was if I was going to lose a lot of the bottom end power. Now this is a 2-into-1 pipe, and the Vance & Hines power duals were a 2-into-1 into 2, which is a lot different, and it all has to do with the back pressure. The Milwaukee 8, you really have to have the proper back pressure to get that low end torque. And I didn't feel like I lost any of the low end torque with this 2-into-1 ThunderHeader, so I was pretty impressed with it. This is a pipe that I would put on my personal bike. I really liked it a lot. Sounds great as well, obviously. But for those of you wondering, I get a lot of questions about this. Back in the day on the twin cam bikes, you could pretty much put any aftermarket header pipe on there and expect to get a horsepower increase out of it. That is not the case with the Milwaukee 8. So I want to just touch real quick on a couple frequently asked questions that I get on these types of videos a lot. The first one I get is if we dynoed the bike and if we have dyno chart numbers. We do not on this bike. We did not dyno this motorcycle. I went over some horsepower and torque figures that Harley-Davidson has that they publish in their Screamin Eagle catalog. I would predict that these numbers are pretty dang close, because the only thing that's different than Harley-Davidson's build is that there's a ThunderHeader exhaust system on the bike, and so I think the numbers are going to be pretty dang close to what I flashed up on the screen. However, they are going to be a little bit different. The next question I get asked a lot on this type of video is that of warranty. So people want to ask if the warranty is still intact on this bike. So I've said this before, I'll repeat it again. Any Screamin' Eagle or genuine Harley-Davidson part you install on your bike within the first 60 days of ownership falls underneath the warranty. So this customer did do that. So he's pretty safe. Now, he does have a ThunderHeader on there, which is not a genuine Harley-Davidson part. However, the OEM parts will only be voided if somehow the aftermarket part adversely affected the other parts. Now, it's just a pipe. I think it's hard for that to happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Perhaps in some circumstances the ThunderHeader could void the warranty on this bike. I can't make a blanket statement, but generally speaking, you're pretty safe if you do everything else, with the tuner being Screamin' Eagle and all the engine components all Screamin' Eagle, and you do it within the first 60 days. Your warranty in most cases will be intact. What I can say is, if you ever use an aftermarket tuner, or certainly if you put like an aftermarket cam in your bike, you will pretty much void your warranty on all your engine components pretty much 100% of the time. So if you buy a brand new bike, probably the worst thing you could do is go out and get an aftermarket cam, or some type of a performance tuner, like any type of like piston or heads, things like that. You're gonna pretty much void the warranty on your engine, pretty much instantly. The other thing that I see pop up in my comments quite a bit too is, people will say, well, the Harley tune and the Harley parts are in no way the best tune, and in no way the best way to get the max power out of your bike. And then they'll name off a couple different things to make more power out of a Harley. I'm not going to deny or refute that there are some aftermarket setups that maybe will squeeze more power out of these engines than the Harley-Davidson stuff. However, I wouldn't trust them, and for the marginal power increase that maybe you might get, it's just not worth voiding your warranty for. This stage 4 build is more than enough power than you'll really ever need. I mean, these things absolutely haul ass. This was a ton of fun riding this bike this day. I've ridden several of these kits now, and I mean, just the stock build on these 107 Milwaukee 8s has a lot of power. These things are just like monsters. So plenty of power on these things. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I always try to get back to everybody. If you enjoyed the video, hook me up, hit that thumbs up button and give me a like. Also, I wanted to talk to you guys about an event we have coming up the first Saturday in March, so March 3rd, 2018. We have our first Throttle Slave show. We're going to have a band there, we're going to have food, vendors, and I'm also calling out all Dyna FXR in 2018 bobtail riders. So your lowrider, fat bob, and street bob in 2018. Come on out, we're going to have a show. I'm going to be doing the judging. I'm going to have one award, one trophy, best of show. So I'm going to be having more information on this event to come. So mark your calendars now, March 3rd. Come on out, everybody's welcome. All bikes, all riders. But the show is for Dyna's FXRs in 2018, Fat Bob, Street Bob, and Low Riders. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care.